Mr. Calabria, our committee chairman, forward.
I'd like to finish the presentation to our Scoutmaster, Mr. Bill Coleman. If you come up front and center, please. We had a ceremony about 2 weeks ago where we recognized the end of the Scout year for the troop, and Bill Coleman has finished his tour of duty with Troop 52. He was gracious enough to spend an extra year with the troop, even though his son Andy had left the troop. And for us parents who go around driving our kids back and forth, we know what a special achievement it is for someone to do it when the son isn't in the troop. So Bill, we have it engraved this time. It wasn't engraved last time. There's a plaque presented to Bill Coleman in appreciation for devoted and untiring work from Troop 52, Boy Scouts of America, from the Troop Committee. Bill? Thank you.
And at this time, I'd like to call up Jim Melson, who's a former Assistant Scoutmaster from Troop 52. He's in his uniform tonight. I'm going to ask him to make a special presentation to one of our older Scouts that's here. This time, I'd like to call up Tony Melson, one of our Eagle Scouts. Tony, several years ago, passed his Eagle Badge. In addition to getting his Eagle Badge, he earned 5 additional merit badges beyond what was required for Eagle. Unfortunately, due to a few paperwork foul-ups, he has never been presented his, it's called the Eagle Palm Award. At this time, I would like Jim Melson here to please present his brother with this. Now, at this point, before we start the Court of Honor, Mrs. Connolly has provided us with a cake for tonight's activities, and there's coffee. If anybody would like to help themselves to the coffee and the cake before we start the Court of Honor, now is your chance to do it. We'll be starting the Court of Honor in a couple minutes.
You fine with it?
Look over here, Charlie. Yeah, we want to take some pictures.
Way up here. Thanks.
Okay, how about smiling? Okay.
Relics around here. I guarantee I'll break it.
Hey, you guys. We're title like the moldy old.
Troop 52, attention. Guys can stand up, please. Stand at attention. Would the rest of the guests mind standing up as well for the pledge, please? Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Okay, please be seated. Okay, the Eagle Scouts of Troop 52, please come forward for the opening.
Scouts on. Scouts stand up. Attention. Okay. Scout is trustworthy. No. Not so fast. Not so fast. We're going to do 4, 4, and then 4. Okay. So don't repeat. Okay. Scout is trustworthy. Scout is loyal. Scout is friendly. Scout is courteous.
Scout is kind. Scout is obedient. Scout is cheerful. Scout is brave.
Scout is thrifty. Scout is brave. Scout is clean. And a scout is reverent. The scout is reverent towards God. He is faithful in his religious duties. He respects the beliefs of others.
2.
Okay, thank you very much. For those that are not familiar, again, we have Mr. Jim Melson, one of our Eagle Scouts and Assistant Scoutmasters. Tony Melson, who is one of our Eagle Scouts and is currently coming to some meetings to help us out. The young gentleman in the suit there, his name is Thomas Haney, one of our Eagle Scouts from about 86, 85, when you attained the rank. Tom is currently a law student, and I appreciate them very much for coming tonight. Okay, you can be seated. Okay, at this time, we do have various guests around. I just introduced some of our Eagle Scouts. We have some other distinguished people here tonight also. Representing Bucks County Council, Boy Scouts of America, we have Mr. Wallace Hill, the gentleman here with the ribbons around his neck. Mr. Hill has been a long time, both professional and volunteer scouter. He has worked with the council levels, he's worked with national level, he's worked with Boy Scouts, and I believe you say you're currently an Explorer Advisor. Okay. Sitting next to Mr. Hill, we have Mr. Jack Jamison, another long-time scouter with Bucks County Council and Lenape District. He's worked with Boy Scouts, how many years, Jack?
25, 26 years.
He's earned various awards. He's worked with the troop levels and again the council levels. A few weeks back, he had the privilege of being honored by many of his former scouts with a special plaque. I guess our main guest of honor here tonight is Tom Connolly in receiving his Eagle Award. His parents, Mr. Thomas Connolly and Mrs. Geraldine Connolly. We have our committee here tonight, Mr. Calabria, Mr. John Stoll, Mr. Dennis Donovan, who is working both ends. He's representing St. Joseph's Society, our sponsoring institution. Also Assistant Scoutmaster, Committeeman, and Cubmaster. We have Mr. Bill Coleman, the past Scoutmaster of the troop. Let's see, we have Mr. Greg Campbell, also from Cub Scouts, and Assistant Scoutmaster and Committeeman with Troop 52. Earl, Joe?
Mr. Ed Harrigan, the Weeblos liaison.
Oh, okay. I tried. Okay, have I missed anybody else at this point? Okay. This time, before we continue on with the ceremony, I am going to ask Mr. Wally Hill if he can come up and say a few words about the Eagle Scout Award.
One thing they asked me to do when I came up and spoke was to keep it simple, stupid, you know. I'm not very good at keeping things short, but we'll go for it anyway. Tom, I don't know what you think about when you're about to become an Eagle Scout, but there are 8 words in the Scout Oath that to me signify that part which you need to put into practice and have put into practice and that's on my honor. I will do my best. Those 8 words, no matter whether you're in school, whether you're out looking for a job, whether you're working at home, being a partner with your family, is that always do your best. And especially do your duty to God, and then duty to your country, and duty to yourself. To me, those 8 words exemplifies what an Eagle Scout should be and what an Eagle Scout should do in the future. And you have a responsibility to take upon yourself to help those young scouts that are sitting here tonight to become an Eagle Scout. They can't do it alone, as you didn't do it alone. So they need your help, and they need your support in going through the ranks up to Eagle. So congratulations to you on a good job, and best wishes for the future.
Thanks.
Okay?
Okay, at this time, as you know, I only just recently have rejoined Troop 52. The scout leader, who was the scoutmaster while Tom was earning this award at this time, Bill Coleman, I would like to call him forward to present the Eagle badge itself. Tom.
About a year and a half ago, I received a call from a young man that I'd never heard of before, and he introduced himself as Tom Conley, and explained to me how he was had been a member of Troop 52, but he'd been away as an exchange student in Germany, and he was now back and wanted to rejoin the troop. And in that year and a half, I've come to know Tom as a very enthusiastic young man. I was listening to the 12 points of the Scout Law, and I think that everybody that knows Tom knows that he certainly fills those 12 points. Tom not only is anxious to lead, but he inspires others to be anxious to follow him. And it really makes me proud to be able to give him this award, to be part of something so positive when there's so many negative things that we read about in the newspapers. So, Tom? I'd like to present Tom with his Eagle badge that he'll wear on his uniform, and also his certificate becoming an Eagle Scout, Thomas Patrick Conley Jr., Troop 52. Tom, congratulations.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
At this time, I would also like to call up Mr. Calabria, please.
Okay, to continue Mr. Coleman's story, right after he received a call from Tom Conley, I received a call from Bill Coleman. And he explained that he had a little bit of a problem here, that Bill didn't tell you the whole story. Not only did Tom want to come back to the troop and receive his Eagle, finish his requirements for Eagle, but he only had about 9 months to do it because he was turning 18 on January 16th. And an Eagle Scout has to finish his requirements and submit his papers before his 18th birthday. And I think the day before is when Tom got his paperwork together. What that entailed is he needed an Eagle project that had to be submitted to the troop committee for approval, then submitted to Bucks County Council for approval, then submitted to Boy Scouts of America in Arlington, Texas for approval. In 9 months, having 3 committees. Our committee got assembled within a day. I think it took about 8 months and 29 days for the rest of the paperwork to follow through. So the committee assembled, Tom went through his project, and every Eagle project is special. I think we all recognize, when we read the papers, again reiterating Bill Coleman's words, the Eagle projects are the positive part of the news. They're always doing something for other people, people other than themselves and their family, people they don't know. Tom's project was monumental, to say the least. He did not pick a project that he had enough lead time to get all his equipment together. He did not pick a project that he can do rain or shine, and he did not pick a project that he can do by himself, which is not the requirement. The requirement is to assemble a team of people together, scouts, and to lead them to get a project done. Tom's project, if you're not familiar with, is up here, documented in these pictures and in this folder, was to build a playground at a women's shelter in Doylestown here, near Ferry Road. It wasn't just a swing set. It was a continuous play area consisting of wooden swings and a tent, if I remember correctly, a jungle gym, some horses, and then a perimeter that was to be using old telephone poles and a mulch top, and some additional landscaping, and let's not forget the fence that had to be moved so that the heavy equipment could come in to level the land, because it wasn't level. And then reading his project and him narrating this, and the time allotted, I was very skeptical, to say the least. I knew that it took a special person to put this all together, because he wasn't talking about 8 scouts. He was talking about 8 scouts plus 8 adults plus heavy equipment machinery plus Pico. And where are you going to get the swings, the play set from, Tom? Well, we'll get it donated, and I have some people that will donate it. And Tom, where are you going to get the heavy equipment from? Well, my dad can help us out with that. Okay, Tom, show me your timeline. What's a timeline? Okay, anyone in engineering, anyone in management, anyone who ever fixed their rec room knows that you have to buy equipment, then you have to see that you have all the equipment you need, then you have to fix up the room, then you have to make sure the equipment fits in the room, then you have to, the last thing you do is to do the room. In my mind, that's a timeline, where you lay it all out and say, what don't I have? And you keep on checking, what don't I have? Well, Tom learned the words timeline. I don't think he'll forget timeline, because that was my requirement. I wanted a timeline before I would approve it. The committee was skeptical also. The troop committee said, Tom, you're taking a big chunk out. If you fail, we all fail. If you succeed, we're all proud of you. Tom, we're all proud of you. You come up and receive your Eagle Scout card. On behalf of the troop committee.
Is this a credit card?
Let's make a little note. I think like scouts like me and Jim Elson and that received these little paper cards, and we had little obscure names like Jimmy Carter or Richard Nixon signed on them. I have to agree. I think the new one looks something like the Gold MasterCard. But hopefully that's the one that will hold up for years to come, much better than they were in the past. At this time, I'd like to call up another committee member, and this will be Mr. Greg Campbell. He'll make a little presentation.
You can see this in a little pamphlet.
I'll take the cap.
I wasn't really prepared for this, Tom, but one thing comes to mind is when my Weeblos moved up in the Boy Scouts, I had a couple of boys who didn't go into Boy Scouts, they left scouting altogether. And instead of giving them the red epaulets and a scout book, what we did for them was we got them a compass to use the rest of their life so they always knew what direction to go in life. Right here we have a eagle tie tack that you can wear with any suit, and will stay with you for the rest of your life. Nice. Congratulations.
At this point, I am going to need Tom Connolly himself to please come forward. I'm also going to ask for his Muller to come forward. Each Eagle Scout that's in this room here tonight probably could not have gotten there without the help of some very special people. So far you've seen the Scoutmaster and committee members help present awards. But there's some very special people for every boy, and that's his Muller and his father. Without them, they would not have the support to stay in Scouting or to receive their badge. This time I would like to present a little pin to Tom. Scout is prepared. Tom, you can say a few words. That's for you to present and pin on your Muller.
Thank you. Not sure what to say. I think all the mothers here probably already know what Mr. Jarvis was talking about when he speaks about the Scouts achieving and having someone behind them to encourage them and help them in all of our activities. And my mom certainly is, she succeeds in that area. I probably wouldn't be in uniform right now if it weren't for her, seeing as she did all my patches for me yesterday. And Mom, thank you for all the help you've given me throughout my entire life, and especially with my Eagle Project and in my scouting endeavors.
You're welcome. See, I was prepared too. I wore a dress with a collar on it. I'm not taking any chances. I watched him do this to Gretchen once, so I know.
Here, I'll let her do it.
No, you should learn how to do this. He can play guitar, do everything else.
I think the two hardest things for men to put on, first it's the Eagle Muller's pin, and someday in the future it's called an engagement ring.
Not to the same person. Thanks, Mom. Love you too.
Good job.
Tom, stay right here. The other person which has given Tom all the support that he's needed in order to attain the Eagle badge. I'd like Tom, please call your father forward.
Dad? Please come forward.
You can actually do that for one of you.
Is that
That is the tie tack. You can use it as a pin.
Oh. Okay. Can I say a few words? Okay. I was planning on thanking my father towards the end when I wanted to thank everyone who helped out with the project, but might as well do it now. If I may, I'd like to tell a little story. Just briefly, it's very short. When I was younger, my father would take me out hiking and camping a great deal, and I remember one time we went to I'm not sure, it was near Tyler Park. We were hiking in the woods, and there was a hill that went up. It was fairly steep. You know, at the time I was about 4 years old or 5, and to a 5-year-old kid, you know, a grade which was probably about a 30% grade, something like that. I'm not sure. It wasn't really steep, but to me it was very steep, and I was scared. It was a rocky area, and it was all wooded. and I was afraid I'd fall down and hurt myself. And my father said, "You can climb the hill now. We'll go up and we'll check out what's at the top of the hill beyond the woods." And I didn't want to go. And basically, he made me walk up the hill. It was a mountain to me, but I took a few steps and I wanted to go back down. I was crying and screaming. I'm sure he would have liked to have just left and taken me back to the car and given me an ice cream cone so I would have shut up. But he made me climb up, and I did it. And that was just one event in a whole series of events during my life that where he has forced me, or at least encouraged me, to overcome difficulties and overcome my own fear in doing things. And in that way, he's really built my character, and I feel very appreciative for that. I don't think I would be here now as an Eagle Scout without his help, without his encouragement. He's always been there for me. He's never done anything for me, but he's always forced me to do things that he knew that I knew I should be doing. And he's always encouraged me to overcome my fears and apprehension about doing things. So for that, I thank you very much, Dad.
How little the hill really is, Thomas.
Well, and it's the truth, because I went back and I looked at the hill and it's nothing.
And I warned him about that. I said, you don't want to know what this hill really looks like, because in his mind, it's a mountain. It's Mount Everest.
Thanks, Dad.
That's the ring in the future. Okay. This time, I'd like to call 3 of our committee member and assistant scoutmasters forward to assist in the next part of the ceremony. Mr. Joe Calabria, Mr. John Stahl, and Mr. Dennis Donovan.
Okay. Okay, Tom Connolly, front and center. I have a certificate from the National Society of Sons of the American Revolution, certificate of recognition for outstanding achievement in leadership and citizenship, evidenced by his attainment of rank of Eagle Scout, Philadelphia Continental Chapter. This is presented to the Troop Committee to give to the Eagle Scout. Tom, congratulations.
Barbara, thank you. Thanks, Frank.
Thomas, I have a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Thomas Patrick Connolly Jr. for I can't hold on my glasses. Meritorious achievement in recognition and attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, June 20th, 1992, from Peter H. Kosmeyer.
Thanks, Mr. Donovan.
Do I read this or not?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll bore you a little bit. I have my own personal story about Tom. Last summer, yes, last summer, I had the opportunity to go to summer camp at Resica Falls. And that's the first time I got to meet Tom. And I arrived on a Wednesday afternoon and got to meet him. Andy Coleman was there and a few of the other boys. and we spent an uneventful evening and an uneventful night, another day where the boys were out working on their merit badges and other projects, and Tom was very busy because he was attempting to get every badge that he could possibly get in order to fulfill the requirements for the merit badges that he needed. Thursday evening went by uneventfully. Everybody turned in. At about 4 in the morning, Mr. Stahl, there's a skunk in my tent! So we had the skunk hunt that night, and Tom and I went out and we rekindled the fire, and I got to know Tom a little bit better between 4 and 6 in the morning as the two of us sat around the campfire waiting for this skunk to return. It never did. It lingered through most of the rest of the day, especially anybody that got near Tom knew it. But we moved him out of his tent, moved somebody else into it. Don't worry, by now, Danny's aroma's all gone. But that's when I got to know Tom. Tom's also becoming a part of our family in a manner of speaking, in that my own son, who's now 13 and a member of this troop, has asked Tom, and Tom has agreed to guide him as his confirmation sponsor. So Tom's really a part of our family as well. So I'm pleased to read commendation from the Board of County Commissioners of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, to Mr. Thomas Patrick Conley, Jr. Dear Mr. Conley, the Board of Bucks County Commissioners is pleased to extend this letter of commendation on the occasion of your recognition as an Eagle Scout of the Boy Scouts of America. Yours is a singular honor, for only 1 out of 100 Boy Scouts achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest honor afforded participants in the Scouting program. As representatives of the entire Bucks County community, we congratulate you on this accomplishment. As an Eagle Scout, you live daily by the principles of the Boy Scout oath and law, and in so doing, make an invaluable contribution to the inspirational wealth of the community. By your exemplary citizenship and personal, physical, and mental development, you set a positive example for your peers. On behalf of all county residents, we enthusiastically affix our signatures to this letter and express our hope that your future will be filled with many more significant and meaningful achievements. Sincerely, Andrew L. Warren, the chairman, Mark S. Schweiker, and Sandra A. Miller, the commissioners of Bucks County. Also, we have from the Senate of Pennsylvania a congratulations in the Senate, June 16, 1992. Whereas Thomas Patrick Conley, Jr. has earned the Eagle Award in Scouting. This is the highest award Boy Scouts can bestow, and as such represents great sacrifice and tremendous effort on the part of this young man. And whereas Thomas Patrick Conley, Jr. is a member of Troop 52. For his Eagle project, Thomas helped in the construction of a child's play yard at Doylestown Shelter for the Homeless on Old Dublin Pike. Now, therefore, the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania congratulates Thomas Patrick Conley, Jr. on the occasion of his being honored with the Eagle Scout Award, commends him on the outstanding work he has done to earn this coveted honor, wishes him continued success in the future, and directs that a copy of this document, sponsored by Senator James C. Greenwood, be transmitted to Thomas Patrick Conley, Jr., Buckingham, Pennsylvania. Tom? Representative Heckler, sir, one of the late arriving dignitaries, State Representative David Heckler, 144th District?
43rd.
143rd.
Thanks, John. Tom, Mr. and Mrs. Connolly, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that I could be here, albeit late this evening, to convey to you a citation which is very similar to the one you just got from Senator Jim Greenwood, except with a little bit less fancy binding, congratulating you upon your achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout and recognizing your achievements along the Eagle Trail. I'm sorry that I wasn't here. Usually I can time this out, so I'm here for the Eagle Charge, because I find that for myself sort of a renewal of faith, and I would, if I can, if John sees a few moments, I'm going to seize just another one on your night, if I may, to to make the observation that obviously you have distinguished yourself. To this point, you've achieved a recognition which very few young men succeed in achieving. One of the things that always strikes me about the Eagle Charge is the recognition of the fact that you have demonstrated skill, strength, leadership, and character, and now, as uniquely because of the recognition that the Boy Scouts of America have given you, you are called upon to use those traits for the best, to lead only to what's good, and I suppose the other observation that I always like hearing again is the fact that there are an awful lot of people who use their talents only for their own selfish ends, only in some cases to take advantage of others. You really are called upon and have a wonderful opportunity ahead of you in life to use the many skills and abilities you have to benefit your community, to benefit those around you, and make them better by your example. I'm confident that you will, and I wish you every success in the future. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Representative.
Okay, at this time, there are also 2 other letters of congratulations for Tom. And I'm going to ask our representative from Bucks County Council, Boy Scouts of America, Mr. Wallace Hill, please come forward. Mr. Jack Jameson.
You first, Jim.
Age before beauty. I'm like to congratulate you.
Sorry. Thank you.
Mom and Dad, congratulations to you. I know what you went through because my son made Eagle. And then he became a police officer and a paramedic. And he said he got it with the idea of in scouting, helping one another and helping people. Tom, nothing's been mentioned here tonight, but you know something? You're a marked man. From this day forward, you're going to be different than you ever have been in your life, solely because you are now an Eagle Scout. What you do in your lifetime between now and the time you die is going to say he's an Eagle Scout. So you got a big thing to look up to bring honor to it. You also joined a boy from this parish that many years ago was an Eagle Scout, and he went to New York Culinary School to become a chef. He also worked up at Alcanican, and he applied for a job after he graduated. And out of the 30 applicants, they called him and said, "We saw your application. You're the youngest person we had that filled out the application. But the main thing is what we saw on your application, that you were an Eagle Scout. And that's all we needed to know about you. You have the job." He got the job cooking for the Kennedy Complex in the Hyannis Park. And he worked up there for several years before he went on. But he was a Eagle Scout from '52. Like I say, you got a rough road ahead of you to live up to the Eagle. And again, congratulations to you. Mom and Dad, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
The Eagle Court of Honor, Tom, is the nearest thing to the coronation of a saint that we have in the Boy Scouts of America. And it's no exception tonight because you're well deserving of the Eagle Scout Award. I have 2 letters here. It says, "Dear Tom, congratulations on your attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout. You have achieved Scouting's highest honor, and the Bucks County Council is proud of you. You are now singled out as a unique young man. Less than 1 scout out of 50 reached this plateau, and your hard work and dedicated service have paid off. We're looking to you and your fellow Eagle Scouts to be the leaders of scouting in the future, and I know you will beat the challenge Yours in Scouting, David Hassel, Council Executive. Dear Thomas, we congratulate you for attaining the Eagle Award. This achievement places you in a group of outstanding citizens who have earned the right to wear the Eagle Badge through diligence and hard work. You have set high standards for yourself. Now you have the added responsibility of upholding and maintaining the proud traditions of Scouting. We know that you will continue to be guided in your daily living by the Scout Oath and the law. The basis for development of your own personal code of conduct could not provide better guidance and will contribute to a more meaningful life. Best wishes to you for continued success in all that you do. Ben H. Love, Chief Scout Executive, and Richard A. Lee, President, National Council, Boy Scouts of America. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I have one other paper here. It doesn't quite fit in, let's say, with the letters of recommendations from senators and congressmen and that. So yesterday, Bucks County Council is sponsoring a scout activity at the Johnsville Air Base. And for anybody who remembers the name Davy Jones from the Monkees, I went up and kind of got Davy Jones to say to a special Eagle Scout, Tom Add that in your autograph.
I'll give him mine if he wants it.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call once again the Eagle Scouts of Troop 52 forward. Mr. Heckler has already used the words Eagle Charge. The paper I now have also says the Eagle Scout Challenge. It is ideals for the Scout to live by in the future and what he has done in the past. At this time, I think what would make me the most proud would be that some of our Eagle Scouts that have tried to live by the Scout Oath and law and ideals should be the one to read the Eagle Challenge to Mr. Tom Connolly. Mr. Nelson?
The foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a Scout is trustworthy. He is the very first point of the Scout law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably. Not only does honor is important to him, but because of vital significance of the example he sets for other Scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle Badge remind you always, live with honor. The Scout obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his family, his leaders and his friends, his school and his nation. His loyalty to his troop and brother Scouts makes him pitch in and carry his share of the load. All of these help to build a loyalty that means devotion and community to country, to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the blue of the Eagle Badge always inspire your loyalty.
The third obligation of the Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a Scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but also the determination to stand up for the right. Trusting in God with faith in his fellow man, he looks forward to each day, seeking his share of the world's work to do it. Let the red of the Eagle Badge remind you always of courage. The fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. To remind the Eagle Scout to always wear a smile. The red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the Second Class Scout Award, which has its ends turned up in a smile.
The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil up Scouting's trail, just as others helped him in his climb to Eagle. The performance of the daily good turn takes on a new meaning when he enters a more adult life of continuing service to others. The eagle stands as protector of the weak and helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. He will always be prepared to put forth his best effort. You deserve much credit for having achieved the Eagle Scout Award, the highest honor in scouting. But wear your award with humility, ever mindful that the Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. May the Scout Oath and the Scout Law be your guide to tomorrow.
Thank you very much. There is a picture of both the American Bald Eagle and the Eagle Badge on here, the Eagle Scout Challenge. I present this to you and hope that in your future, you have told me that you'd like to become a lawyer and eventually into politics someday. And I'm hoping that if you fulfill those goals, just like your goal of Eagle Scout, that you remember what you've been charged with here tonight. Remember your scouting ideals and never change.
Okay, I will.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to try and take a long story and make it a little bit shorter. I am not known for being much of a speaker here. I've heard this story many times at miscellaneous scout functions and also religious activities. There once was this town in a very dark valley where the sun hardly ever shone into the valley. The water there was poor. There was hardly any streams there. The people were very poor. The people were starving. Everybody in the town would complain. One day, somebody decided, well, wait a minute, what's on the other side of these mountains? So one person decided to go to a walk, and he gets to the base of the mountain, and he looks up at the mountain and says, nah, there's no way I can climb that hill. And he goes back and tells the people in this village that nobody can really climb these hills. A few days later, another person goes, walks to the same hill, and he starts to climb part way up. He starts stumbling, he slips, scrapes his knees, gets banged up. You know, at least he got part way up, but he decided to go back down and return to the village again and tell everybody about his experience. Now I had a third person. Once again, they start climbing up the mountain. They do the stumbling and falling, but they reach the top of the mountain. He looks out, and what he sees on the other side is beautiful green valleys. He sees rivers. He sees the sun. He climbs back down the mountain, returns to the village, and he tells everybody there what he has seen. And that's all he does, is he just tells them about it. You now have another person who, after hearing this story, decides, well, he's going to climb that mountain. He gets to the top. He climbs back down the other side of the mountain to see these green pastures. He now has decided, well, I'm here. There's no way I'm going back up that hill and return to my people to tell them what I've seen. He just stays there. Next person to climb that mountain and go through the hardships, sees a valley, and he decides to return to his people. He tells the people what's there and then says, hey, over there, there's food, there's sunlight. Here we have nothing. Come and follow me. So he leads his people up through that hard mountain. And they make it over the mountain and down into the green valley, where there is abundance. And this one man has become their leader. Somewhere for each person that I told you about trying to climb that hill describes almost everybody in this life. You have people that talk, you have people that follow, you have people that brag, you have people that quit. An Eagle Scout is the one that climbed the hill and led his people there, or hopefully will also lead his people into the future, because the Eagle Scouts are our leaders. You'll see a poster over there with patches on it from the moon missions and the various Gemini and Mercury and Apollo space shots. There's one patch at the bottom, words that says, before they wore these patches, they wore one other patch first, and that patch is the Scout emblem. On every space mission, there have been Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts. But once again, the Eagle Scout is the leader, the one that reaches his goal. With that, I believe Mr. Calabria would like to say something before our closing tonight.
Okay, just quickly, I'd like to thank everyone who took part in the celebration for Tom. To the parents, to the mothers who did prepare the food for our dinner tonight, covered dish. I think we all agree it was excellent. And for you, on behalf of the committee, I applaud you. I would like also to thank Mr. Charlie Jars. This was his idea. He's the Scoutmaster for the last 2 weeks. He's an ex-Eagle Scout, as you can probably tell. And he felt that the celebration for Eagle Scout was a celebration for the Eagle Scout and his parents. And because of that requirement, he put it on the committee to hold a party for Tom and his parents, which I believe we did, and I hope we were successful. And I'd also like to thank Tom for giving us the opportunity to have the celebration, because it's Father's Day. Many people could not make it because they're out of town, and they said they would be here had they been in town. In particular, Mr. Ken Carpenter, who doesn't have a son, who's one of our committee members, helped Tom with his paperwork and is in Seattle on a business course right now. And he wanted me to express congratulations to you also, as well as the other, I guess it's another 7 committee members who could not be here tonight because of personal commitments. So Tom, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this positive experience on a beautiful night. And I think the troop, again, is very proud of your achievements. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, once again, I also wish to thank everybody, because if it wasn't for the parents and the committee at Troop 52, activities like this cannot take place. You, the parents, are the most important part of Scouting, for supporting your sons, supporting them in going camping. Right now, I'd like to challenge all the parents here to encourage your sons to attain the Eagle rank. A lot of your scouts I know are new and just had the rank of Scout or Tenderfoot, and they do need your help, but every scout in this room can attain the rank of Eagle. It is everybody's potential with the parent support. I'd also like to thank Mr. Heckler for personally coming tonight with his letters of congratulations. This time, I am going to call once again on our former Eagle Scouts and for Tom Connolly to come forward.
Scouts, attention, but do not repeat. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country.
To help other people at all times.
Keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Okay, with that, Scoutmaster's benediction. May the great master of all scouts be with us as we meet again. Thank you all.
I mean, like,
talk about kill yourself.
Yeah. And I guess it must have been about 1st of March.
He had pneumonia so bad that
He
one
had
year.
pneumonia. The coach had pneumonia.
Bruce.
Did you bring her back again?
Never say die.
Oh,
We were fortunate. We didn't have anybody play football. Cindy's
We were
boys
lucky.
played football. They're the first two, Mike and Kevin. They played football.
Oh, it certainly wasn't from any encouragement.
This is a view from our backyard during the blizzard of '93. Some sight, huh? It's about 11:30 in the morning. I'm trying not to get the camera wet. Snow is coming right in. I guess I'll have to shut the window. Another view of our backyard during this monster snowstorm. 1993. The wind is really blowing hard. Polly can't go out because it's too deep for her. Really bad. They're calling it the storm of the century. not going to get real good pictures because I have to go through the window. A lull in the storm has occurred, so I'm outside doing my best to tell everyone what it was like, the blizzard of '93. Can you hear the sleet just starting up again? It wasn't here when I first came out. Now it's just starting in again. You can see my footprints going over to the barn to get wood. Getting pelted again with wind, sleet, hail. The angels are almost covered over. I don't see any deer down there. Nobody's traveling up and down on the road. There goes a car down the road in this lull in the storm. Hardly anything is happening right now. It's now hailing again. There's a lull in the storm and then we're back into it again. It's only 5 o'clock at night. You hear the snowmobiles coming down the road? And here comes a truck down Day 2 of our storm of the century, blizzard of 93. It's a lot warmer today. The wind isn't nearly as bad. Everything is closed. Every interstate, every road. They're hoping to open up things soon. They're hoping for tomorrow morning because, of course, today is Sunday. I made a pathway over to the barn for wood. We have half of our electric service, the other half is not there. The sun is just starting to come out. I'd put the date on, which is March the 14th, but the date isn't correct. My pathway to the barn for wood took me about an hour to make it. Still no cars on the road. The wind is blowing pretty hard. No traffic down West Street either. The house has all kinds of snow on the roof. Can't even see the worst of it. PE came to fix our electric. It's 4:30 Sunday afternoon. The wind is almost gone. I've shoveled out the front waiting for Dad to come home. You can see my little path in the back that I shoveled to go get wood. Daddy's home.
fairway pod, lady?
Yeah. How about dinner? One path for Pam. That's all we need. I'm not going anywhere. Forget about me. Just get Pam out. Tammy's gonna make you climb through that. I hear he has a massive headache.
Yep.
You never know it, would you? Good to hear him.
No, what happened was, he needs a new carburetor on the scrambler, and all he did was, Jesus, breathe gas fume.
Why don't you forget it and do it tomorrow morning? Looks like you're going for a ride, Pam. Looks like you're going for a ride.
The only way to get it out. Nothing to hook on to, huh? Nothing to hook on to? Hook there.
Success story. Day 3. Day 3 of the blizzard of 93. Sun's out, no wind, it's gorgeous, but everything's still at a standstill. Here comes a car. Finally got plowed out and shoveled out. Still a lot of snow around. Starting to melt down at Hidden Lane. My poor bushes are all covered over. Beautiful, peaceful scene. No cars moving yet. Birds have been busy here at our bird feeder.